Hello, welcome to Minecraft. This is 1.16.3 because that's when I made this world. And I just wanted to show off some work I've been doing on some redstone circuitry, largely focused around a brewing system, fully automatic. Um, I've described it as a potions manufactory. So the idea is that each of these chests contains would contain an exact potion of proper level that you desire. This is an expandable system. I picked out potions that I thought would be um, best to produce for this system before quickly realizing that, or not so quickly realizing that for a demonstration system, that is too many potions. Why don't we start from the beginning um, of the system? That is, this is an input chest, obviously not hooked up to anything quite yet, but uh, all that does is feed into a bubble elevator that goes into the item sorter, which is this right here. Um, as you can tell, we've got we can just throw a bunch of stuff in here. It's already hooked up to a bubble elevator, and it'll sort out all the ingredients that we throw in here, specifically the ones that are used in the potions that I wanted to create. Um, I don't know if the walls are strictly necessary, but I did the pickle collision thing, um, and I liked how this looked, so I kept it. So as you can see, we've got our ingredients being sorted into different barrels here. Um, and everything should have its own spot. I did have to use a special um, sorting system to filter out turtle shells, which are non-stackable. Um, so that's just going to keep going until it runs out of items. Um, it is quite loud, but it gets the job done. Everything will be sorted into these barrels here. At which point, the next step of this process is to take the glass bottles out, and you'll forgive me. Okay, it is this one. I just don't happen to have any glass bottles in there. Filter out the glass bottles and feed them into one of several automatic water bottler designs that I've come up with. This was the Mark One bottle filler. Uh, you just you fill this um, you fill this as much as you can with bottles, and it will um, dispensing a bottle will try and fill it with water. That's why we have a water bottle in here. And if there's no space left in this, then the bottle will be ejected. At which point the water streams will carry it in a loop to be picked up by these hoppers. The top layer of hoppers are in a cycle, and the bottom layer feeds into these chests. This is sort of supposed to be a backlog of water bottles since they don't stack. Um, and what I've done here is set up a system that detects when this is almost full and when this one is a little less full. It will. This is a weirdly designed AND gate hooked up to permanently power this dispenser so that it shuts off the system. I tried to, leave some space so that we didn't have bottles despawning. That was the point behind that. Um, There was another design for a bottle filler that I came up with a little later to try and maximize fill speed. And oh god, I think I think this is it. As you can see, it's significantly more complicated and uh, significantly larger. Bottles go in the top; they get fed into the dispensers, and I think for the most part, it's the same system, or it's a very similar system to what we had over there. Um, Multiplied by four, with water flowing in a sort of cyclical pattern there, on top of some hoppers that lead into a very large um, silo. I would call it, and then we've got the same overflow system uh, detecting when it should shut off, so that we don't, lose a bunch of glass bottles to despawning. Um, the extra feature here is one that I spent just way too long designing. It is essentially a maximum speed dispenser circuit. So what I've done is I've hooked up um, this system to produce a zero tick clock. Sorry. It produces zero tick pulses on a um. It produces zero tick pulses every tick, I believe. Um, so that the dispenser, whenever possible, will be powered and um, doing its job at the fastest rate possible. Um, I tried working with the dispenser's refractory period of a few ticks to try and maximize its efficiency, but then realized that this brute force method works just as well. Um, so um, this is all just for the obscene purpose of filling up a whole bunch of water bottles that get stored there. Coming back to this area over here, we had the item input for sorting. These are indicator lights that I haven't hooked up on this version of the system, um, with just little icons and warning lights telling you, hey, you're low and you're out of an item. Uh, um, I did do a proof of concept quite a bit further away for that. Over here, I think. Um, this was all fed by hand. Yeah, so we've got restock now and restock. Sorry, restock soon and restock now. Um, and then, of course, no lamps means you're all good. And the way I did that on this version of the system was having these were the inventory chests that actually kept the items, and this and this, these two barrels were acting as the emitters for the level detectors for which lamp to light up, if any. Um, and I had to stagger it so that the redstone didn't interfere with itself for the next module over. And theoretically, you could just go down the line and have just a very very large circuit for something that really should be should be possible at a much smaller scale. Um, so after that is I think after that comes the actual brewing modules. So what I've done here is I've hooked up a bunch of brewing modules in succession that lead down into the potion of fire resistance 8-minute duration setup. And what I've done is I've set it up so that it will continually brew potions of whatever type you are needing until its respective chest is completely full. At which point it will cease production. And if I remember correctly, there should be. This one has no backlog, but the prior one has a small backlog uh, of potions. This is the 3 minute fire resistance potions, and then the one before that has a backlog of awkward potions. Um, with of course this line leading off to potential other brewing modules that would also utilize the awkward potion. Um, and I think that this was the setup for the next potion in the series, but I never hooked it up to anything. Um, so that is the theory behind this. As you can see down here, I sort of set up a system to take the output of each chest and measure it against the full chest using some fancy subtraction action with the comparators to take an output. I did quickly realize one issue. First of all, the modules are huge, so in addition to redesigning the stock keeping modules, I also decided to try and space out, to try and figure out how much space each of these modules would need, and then, really plan it out before I build build up this entire monstrosity. Um, and that's sort of where I stopped because I realized that I was facing a larger issue in that the amount of materials needed to keep up with this brewing system was obscene. Basically, any hopper line feeding into any of the um, ingredients ingredient lines for the brewing modules would have to be kept basically completely full. So my current challenge right now is really just um, feeding each individual module the ingredients it needs when they need it in a precise way. Um, this latest module does have several advantages. You can take an output here to figure out when it completes a brewing cycle. Um, and it also has protection to make sure that no water bottles end up in the output, or no potions of the previous step end up in this output here. So if there's only one potion, or yeah, if there's only one potion in here, it shouldn't initiate uh, the it shouldn't start up brewing until all three of those slots are full. Um, that being said, I basically need a center for um, dispensing ingredients to minimize the amount of backlogged ingredients that we actually need to keep the system running. So this was one of my attempts here where it would just keep a single dispenser of an ingredient and it would um, divert a an ingredient to the channel that it needed based on a signal it would receive um, from the brewer module. Um, that being said, I'm not terribly happy with that system as it is now. Um, so while I am very happy with the compaction and you know redstone engineering that went into the brewer module here. I think really that this is going to be my crowning achievement. That I I'm a little stuck on a better system for um, maintaining regular levels of ingredients, and frankly, I don't know that I can be bothered to build up the 80 or so modules that would go into a system like this. Um, so I guess I can show you in a bit more detail. This should be the same module as that one over there without the leads. Um, this is the Brewery Mark IV design. It's got a backlog system here. We've got 3 hopper lines feeding in, one for blaze powder, one for the new ingredient, and one for the potion that is being modified. Um, we have a hopper clock that is this is being used to tell whether or not this is full. Once this is full, it'll shut off. Otherwise, it will keep powering this uh, system here, which is an etho hopper clock designed to cycle. Basically, the issue with brewing stands is that if you just have a hopper below them, it'll take out the unfinished potions before they're done brewing. So you need to time it precisely such that only the finished products will get removed, which is why we have this redstone torch here that gets powered by this repeater here, which in turn gets powered by this redstone dust, which is powered by this comparator powering this orange wool here. Um, I really love this portion of the circuit because I have um, a really wonky um, pulse extender up here on the orange wool, and then I sort of bring it down to power this purple circuit, this magenta circuit. Yeah, this magenta circuit down here to work the timings for that. And power is actually sent through this barrel, but it also acts as another level detector for the brewing stand itself. This one is used. This comparator takes an output from the brewing stand, which powers this white wool block, powering that redstone, which gets compared to the contents of this barrel, and that these two circuits are completely independent despite this receiving power. And then that's repeated here and fed into this wool block, which keeps this piston powered, or rather powers this piston in the first place. And then nothing else is going on down here, with the exception of anytime this hopper receives power from the I've got 46 items in there right now. Once this is powered, this will activate a four-tick pulse that gets sent through the pulse extender, which activates this whole system. This also locks this dispenser. The pulse extender locks this dispenser to make sure that I think this is the previous potions line. Makes sure that no more of those get fed in. God, this is it's a bit of a mess, to be honest, but it's really functional. I think I got it down to a pretty good size. It's 7 by 5 by 4. Uh, of course, there is a lot of empty space in here, so it's possible that somebody else could come along and compact it a bit more. But given the features that it has, like I mentioned earlier about it um, having uh, fail safes in place for um, uh, bottles, for example, that aren't divisible by 3, um, then I think it becomes worth it. Why don't we grab some bottles so I can uh, show this off. Of course, they don't fucking stack. Um, if I'm looking at the same system here, the top one was for the ingredient, the left one was for blaze powder, and that leaves the right one to be for water bottles. So this one, yeah, was the water bottle one. So if we just put one in here, it's not. Oh, okay. The way the way I did it was that it shouldn't unlock the lower hopper to remove this potion until, huh. Okay, yeah, so that is staying locked um until the this is full. I'm I'm thinking that rather than having hmm well, the end all be all is that once this thing is actually completely full, it'll start the timer for the release of the potions. um I do remember. I think it is slightly less efficient with the. Oh no, that isn't right. That's not right at all. Yeah, we just let slip a water bottle. One of the water bottles just escaped. Okay, so um, it seems I may have made changes between these two versions that might have made things a bit better. Um, to be frank, it has been a little while since I took a look at any of this. About a month, I think. Um, but you know what? I'm just going to call it there. Um, while I might do a bit more experimentation off camera, and if I can figure out what my thinking was with the safety protection systems, then I will let you guys know, because clearly that demo completely failed. But that's gonna be all. I'm having fun with this redstone stuff. I thought it was relevant to what Xuma was doing with his uh, potion brewing machine on Hermitcraft. So I thought I would share that I had been doing this for a while. Obviously, nowhere as successfully, but in such a way that I thought was uh, interesting and relevant. I guess this last thing was an earlier prototype of that same circuit that would that was hooked up into this counter circuit that counted um, 20 every 20 cycles of the brewer, and would then know to dispense blaze powder into the brewing machine so that every blaze powder can power 20 operations before needing to be replaced. So this was an early attempt to get this system figured out where I didn't need to have just thousands of blaze powder. Um, yeah, that's that's all. You can see my uh, development process and cycle. I don't remember what I was looking for here. I was looking at the different properties of blocks and how they would or wouldn't block redstone signals, and as well as the various properties of honey versus slime blocks. But I don't remember what that was for. So that's that's that. Um, I hope that this was interesting for you. If not terribly helpful, just interesting. um, so yeah, that'll be all. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day.